Good evening, everyone. I will call the June 27th, 2023 regular meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up is public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, we do have an amendment to the
Okay.
agenda.
Oh, we do. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I believe this came in after the agenda was posted, but pursuant to Section 712E of the Right to Know law, we are permitted to amend the agenda prior to taking action on any items. And the item to be added this evening is with respect to a uniform outfitters contract with the township for purposes of the fire department. I believe this company also provides uniforms for the police department. So this would be an agenda item under number 9, bids and quotes. It would go underneath taser batteries. It'd be my recommendation to add this item to the agenda.
Okay. Is there a motion to add the uniform outfitters agreement for, specifically for fire uniforms?
Yes.
And related items to the agenda?
Okay, so moved.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next up is the public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning. Is there anyone that wishes to make a public comment on anything that's on the agenda? Okay, hearing none. Move on to approval of the minutes from our June 13th, 2023 regular meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Approval of bills. We have some bills here that we need to approve. Is there a motion to approve this batch of bills?
I'll make that motion.
And I will second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up, we have some public hearings on subdivision and land development plans. The first one is a subdivision plan for the Dietz and Martin property. Mr. Waldinger?
Thank you. Good evening. Yes, this is a small subdivision plan to show the creation of a 2.464 acre parcel, parcel C, from tax parcel 33-151-161-1. Create a 24.781 acre residual lot along the east line of Henderson Road, south of the railroad tracks in tract 338. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, June 6, 2023, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this subdivision with the following modifications. The depth to width ratio for parcel C is above the 3-to-1 maximum ratio, and the frontage for parcel C is 61.59, which is less than the minimum frontage of 100 feet.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. We'll open the public hearing, and if there's anyone that wishes to comment, sir?
Mike Sanford, 4721 Atlantic Avenue. I'm the surveyor that made the plan. And it was as described by Mr. Waldinger. It's a simple subdivision, one lot with 2 modifications. Here tonight requesting your approval.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments on this? I don't have any for Mr. Sanford.
No, I don't either.
No.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to speak on this subdivision plan? Okay. Hearing none, we're going to do these separately, I assume, Matt? Just
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll close the hearing on this particular one and ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve?
And I'll second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I also vote yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next up, we have a subdivision plan for Robertson Enterprises. Matt?
Thank you. This is a subdivision plan to show the creation of a 0.775 acre parcel, Lot A, from tax parcel 33-35-171-17, with a residual lot of 0.437 acres. This 0.437 acre parcel is to become an integral part of 1224 Idaho Avenue, creating a 0.608 acre lot along the south line of West 12th Street, west of Idaho Avenue in Tract 13. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, June 6, 2023, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this subdivision with the requirement that the 0.437 acre parcel become an integral part of 1224 Idaho Avenue.
Okay, thank you, Matt, and we'll open this hearing up. And, sir, okay.
Again, Mike Sanford, 4721 Atlantic Avenue. As Mr. Waldinger described, very simple subdivision here. It's what we would call a rear lot addition. The one lot would like to add some more property to their rear yard, and we're aware of the requirement that that must become an integral part. So here tonight, requesting your approval.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sanford. Anyone else wish to speak on this subdivision plan? Okay, hearing no other comments, we'll close the hearing and ask for a motion on this particular subdivision plan.
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Dan.
Second?
Okay, Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up is a land development plan for Dick's House of Sport. Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. This is a land development plan to show the construction of a 20,655 square foot outdoor track and field facility located at the south portion of the Mill Creek Mall along the west line of Peach Street, south of Kuntz Road in Tract 347. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, June 6, 2023, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this land development plan with the following requirements: that the square footage of the existing building be added to the Mylar, and that the location and/or distance to the nearest fire hydrant be added to the Mylar.
Okay, thank you, Matt. And we'll open the public hearing on this land development plan. Hello, sir.
Good evening. Michael Takas with Bowler. Nice to see you again.
You too.
Here tonight representing Dick's Sporting Goods for their renovation of the existing Bonton department store as part of the Mill Creek Mall. I do have Brian Thomas with Dick's Sporting Goods here, as well as Justin Somerville from Cafaro to answer any potential questions related to the operation of the proposed facility. As you may be aware, the inside of the first level is being currently renovated to house the Dick's Sporting Goods, relocated Dick's Sporting Goods. And along with that, they're proposing to construct a 20,655 square foot outdoor field. So it's basically a turf area in the infill area, and then there is a running track around the outside of that. This is right in line with their House of Sport concepts, which are more square footage than what this is. So we've initially identified it as a House of Sport. It is going to be a Dick's Sporting Goods with the field. But it has all those same characteristics, just not quite the size of the House of Sports. I think the closest House of Sport would be Rochester, which I believe was probably the first. Then there is House of Sport in Knoxville and Minnetonka, Minnesota. So those are the ones that are up and running. And any others that are up and running yet?
Not yet. We're in the process of opening 7 more in the next month or so across the country.
The proposed use here at the Mill Creek Mall will be the first that is not a full-on House of Sport to have the outdoor field facility. First image, just looking at the overall of the mall. The Bonton is, of course, on the south side. The bottom of that, we should have probably labeled it, but did not. The second image is a survey. This basically shows the area of the project.
Testing.
Test, test. Do a test.
Test.
Test, test.
Test.
Okay.
The second sheet in the package is basically showing the scope of the project, the area that will be modified. It is off of that west side of the building, so it's close to I believe it's the AC Moore is on that side. So it's that particular portion there. So the field will actually extend out into the parking lot, where the ring road is, and then we're making modifications to that. The next image then shows the field itself. Again, it is turf with stone underneath the proposed field area, and then a track surface over top of asphalt in the balance of the area. There will be outdoor lighting. I believe there's a scoreboard, there's some stands. It's really to give kind of a very scaled down version of what an outdoor track and field facility would look like. And we can go ahead on through. We won't necessarily belabor it. Color rendering, just again showing that configuration, separating out the uses. There will be some landscape around the outside edge of the enclosure itself, as well as in a sidewalk that will wrap around that area to provide access to the kind of inner loop of the sidewalk as it's presented. The next images are images of the different field locations. Each one is going to be configured a little bit differently, but the character is basically the same. So the first one that you see is of the Victor, New York, the Rochester location. If you look at the image on the right, in the winter, this site will also be set up this way. We will have an outdoor skating rink that's out there. The way these fields, or this area will operate, there will be doors to egress for emergency purposes, but you will access through the store itself. The other sites that we have that have been up and running, there will be a bunch of activities that are hosted by Dick's Sporting Goods, as well as activities coordinated through Dick's Sporting Goods for other sporting venues. I won't say clubs. It's obviously reduced. You can't have a full soccer match or things like that. But clinics, things along those lines, it's been extremely well received in the locations where it is to date. And that again is why they're rolling out a number of the House of Sports, but also are looking to take that and bring it to those smaller stores as well. The next one is Knoxville, Tennessee. Again, it's a little bit more from the outside, looking back at the enclosure itself. That there was more of just a wasn't freestanding, but it's a more ground up Dick's Sporting Goods. Obviously, we're renovating the interior here. We're not starting from scratch. And then again, you can see there's a yoga class in the last one. That's Minnetonka, Minnesota. And again, it's the idea of really allowing the customers and the athletes to kind of experience sport at the store, not just look and buy goods. I don't believe there's any actual sales that take place. There's nothing out in those areas itself. It really is an accessory to the store itself. Okay. And I would be happy to entertain any questions you might have. I do know I do have an answer on the fire hydrant. We are on the west side. We're 388 feet, and we're 81 feet on the other side. So on the east side, there's one just outside. We will label those prior to the Mylars. And then total square footage is 119,814 for the Bonton. And it's split not completely even. It's 59,819 on the first floor and 59,994 on the second floor. And again, as of right now, that second floor is just going to be space. Does not have a use. The Dick's Sporting Goods is exclusively on the first floor.
Okay.
One other thing I should point out, we will be here tomorrow night to the zoning hearing board. The enclosure is determined to be considered a fence. The fence in the township only has a maximum height of 8 feet. Again, it is really not simply a fence. It's enclosing the activities, but we will have to ask for a variance
Sure.
tomorrow.
Okay.
We are confident, but it is something we do still have to go through tomorrow
Okay.
night.
All right.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
sir. You answered all my questions.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else here wish to speak on this land development plan? Okay, we'll close the hearing and ask for a motion.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I would just like to note that this seems to be such an exciting accessory to the Mill Creek Mall and that entire area. So I'm very excited for what it's going to bring to our residents.
Thank you. Okay, number 7 on our agenda is a request for planning waiver and non-building declaration. The Dietz and Martin property, planning waiver and non-building declaration. Matt?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this is in regards to the first subdivision that was being heard today. The applicant is requesting a planning waiver and a non-building declaration for the subdivision plan that was previously approved. I don't know if there's anybody here to speak on behalf of that or not, but basically it just states that it is not approved for a septic site, and so it cannot be built on until such time as public sewer is provided or an approved septic site is identified on it. This is a notification to any future purchasers that it is not a buildable lot. The DEP does require that the township, though, sign off on that agreement, and so that's what's in front of you.
Okay, so as far as the recommendation for that, would that be coming from your department?
Yeah, I mean, we would recommend that you sign it. It just is a notification process that has to go through, and it has to be approved and signed by the Board of Supervisors in order to be complete.
Okay, and that request is through the DEP?
It's a DEP form, yes.
Yep, I see that here. Okay, any other questions, Kim or Dan?
Nope.
Nothing? Okay. All right. Is there a motion on this request?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Number 8, non-substantial amendment of Westridge Estates Land Development Plan. Matt, are you doing okay?
Me again? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Got a lot here.
I'm ready. Yes. The developer for the land development plan of Westridge Estates, which is Robert W. and Elise E. Sessler, are proposing to amend the approved plan. They would be delineating a 14-foot by 34-foot cross-access easement in favor of the adjacent tax parcel, and they are showing the expansion and restriping of the existing parking area to add one additional space. The stormwater plan for Phase 2 of Westridge Estates takes into account the increased impervious space that's included with this modification. If you'll notice, you do have a form signed by Township Engineer Robert Rodemoyer stating that this request does comply as a non-substantial amendment and should be approved as it meets the definitions of the ordinance. And so we would recommend that this non-substantial land development amendment be approved.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Is there a motion on this non-substantial amendment development plan?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Number 9, bids and quotations. First one is the COG, gasoline and diesel fuel joint purchasing bid results. Rob?
Thank you. Good evening. The township recently received the Erie Area Council of Government gasoline and diesel fuel bids for the township's main campus, east side facility, Mill Fair Recycling Center, and the Mill Creek Golf and Learning Center. Estimated annual quantities are as follows: 87 octane gasoline, 104,366 gallons. B2 diesel fuel, 60,654 gallons. And off-road diesel fuel is 10,000 gallons. This contract runs from 7/1/23 through 6/30 of '26. One bid was received from Melzer's Fuel Service. The township's price for fuel is the average daily price on the day the order is placed, minus federal, state, and local tax, and following are the adjustments for Melzer's bid. For gasoline delivered to the township's main campus here, for all 3 years, there's a price adjustment of minus 2.5 cents, and that's because we're able to buy in bulk because we have the storage here to do so. The ultra-low sulfur off-road diesel fuel, this is for the Mill Fair Recycling Center and the Mill Creek Golf and Learning Center. Both of those quantities came in at plus 5 cents per gallon. The ultra-low sulfur B2 diesel fuel came in with a summer adjustment of 0 cents, so we will just pay whatever the daily average is. The winter mix will be plus 1.5 cents per gallon, and fuel being delivered to the east side facility at 5192 Old French Road. The summer adjustment is plus 5 cents, and the winter adjustment is plus 6.5 cents per gallon. It is my recommendation to enter into this contract with Melzer's Fuel Service.
Okay, so, Rob, I see here it's a 3-year contract.
Correct.
Okay, so does that mean that the prices are guaranteed, or is it based on market?
It's based on market. We pay whatever the average daily is out of the Warren refinery.
Okay.
And then these are the adjustments, which basically covers their delivery charge. Like our gasoline, we came in under whatever the daily average is because we're able to buy a full tanker full.
Very good, okay. And this is, we've entered into this contract pretty much for a while.
Correct. We're currently under one of these contracts.
Okay. All right, thank you, Rob. Any other questions for Rob on the COG fuel bid?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Okay, Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Garage AC machine. Rob?
The garage is seeking approval to purchase a new Robin Air 34788NI AC machine for Garage 2. We currently own one of these machines, but have recently had issues due to these machines being extremely sensitive when transporting between garages. One quote was received from O'Reilly Auto Parts for a price of $4,675, and this includes a free cover and filter dryer. Funds for this will be taken from the reserve line of the 1-ton shop truck line of the fleet maintenance capital budget. It is my recommendation to purchase this machine from O'Reilly Auto Parts. And I would like to note that list price on this machine is $8,896.61. So we are saving over $4,000 buying this new machine from list price.
Okay, so the bid price was the 4,675?
Correct.
Or quote?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Is there a motion on the AC machine for Garage 2?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. 2023 Township Calendar. Jesse?
Good evening, thank you.
Hello.
The 2023 calendar, the annual Mill Creek Township calendar, is mailed to residents and businesses. It contains useful information for residents, including holidays, supervisors and committee meetings, building closings, recycling department guidelines, and much more. Specifications for printing include a quantity of 28,500 to be printed, 32 pages plus cover, 12 by 18 inches flat and 9 by 12 finished, FSC certified paper, 80 gloss text and cover, 4 color throughout, drill hole for hanging, saddle stitch, address and mailing list composed, and delivery to USPS. Mill Creek Township received a quote from Printing Concepts, who is a CoStarz vendor with contract number 547918 at a cost of $34,000. The Mill Creek Township Recycling Department recommends accepting the CoStarz quote for printing the 2023 residential calendar.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Any comments on this?
I will. I love making comments. I love the calendar every year. I have been using it for 20-some years. So that's where our life goes when we have to put anything in. So, and I love the pictures and the information. So I'm excited to see the final product.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion on the 2023 calendar quote?
Be
I'll make a-
2024, right?
Oh, 2024.
It does say 23.
2024, thank you.
24 calendar.
Yeah.
2024, okay.
This is when I start working forwards and backwards in
Yeah.
my years. Backwards for the grants, forwards for the calendar.
All right, 2024 calendar.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up, we have a camera lens. Sam, you're going to handle that one?
Sure thing.
Okay.
So this is a specialized lens that will play a large role in capturing more of the township during these busy summer months. The CRS department plans on capturing photos of all the parks and rec spaces that Mill Creek has to offer for the website. We're going to be doing lots of events, getting more nice long exposure night shots. We talked about doing headshots around the building, and lots of photos of leadership and, of course, the Mill Creek crews out there working in the township. I will, unless you have specific questions, spare you reading off all the technical details of why this is important and useful for me. 3 quotes were obtained for the same price of $2,199. The CRS department has opted to use the primary Canon listing on Amazon.com for simplicity with the tax forgiveness already applied. There's a line item in the communications portion of the 2023 CRS budget set aside for this amount. As this lens is priced at $2,199, the same amount will have to be transferred to the CRS capital fund, and the lens will be purchased from there.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
No problem.
Okay, is there a motion on the Canon camera lens?
I just have one question, too.
Oh, go ahead.
I think I know the answer. This was included in your budget that you created for this year anyway, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's not over and above. Okay, that's what I thought. Yes, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Next up, we have an equipment purchase request from Chief Mook,
Yes.
and Mrs. Clear is going to handle that.
This is, yes, from Chief Mook. In order to comply with manufacturer recommendations, Chief Mook is requesting to approve the purchase of 10 taser batteries. Currently, the police department does not have enough batteries to go around the department in order to properly and regularly change out the batteries as per taser protocol. The cost is $2,649.25 for the batteries and battery dock. And are there any, I can answer any questions.
I'll make a motion to approve this purchase.
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Number 10, we have new or amended ordinance under review. This is,
Mr. Chairman?
Oh.
You had the additional,
oh,
Yes.
yes.
There's the uniform.
Yes, thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Wallner.
Okay, our agenda amendment from earlier, we have from uniform
Yes.
outfitter.
You want me to do it or you want to do it?
You can go ahead.
Okay. So we're going to enter into I would like permission to enter into an agreement with Uniform Outfitters to be the supplier for the Mill Creek Fire Department firefighters, fire chief for their uniform needs moving forward.
Okay, Dan, did you make a motion?
And Mr. Olet, I believe, just for purpose of clarifying, I believe what the police department is they will bill us for that. Same thing here with the fire department. So, but that is also approved at a meeting, any of those purchases.
Correct, yes, thank you.
Okay,
And I'll make a motion to approve? Or
okay.
second? I don't know.
I'll take the motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay.
Okay. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Now, number 10. New amended ordinance is under review. This has been on our agenda for a while.
Yes, the
The
saldo.
saldo.
It does exist, I promise. But as Attorney Shaw indicated last week, we're continuing to work on that. And now that we have our township engineer that's been hired, that has been passed along to Mr. Rodemoyer for his review and comment, because this process was started with Annie Sokol. And now with him coming on board, he wants an opportunity to review. So this is probably still a few meetings away from presenting to the board and to the public generally. I believe the intention is still to have some public meetings on that before formally going through that process and adopting. There's still a lot of public comment opportunities before we get to adopting it.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Lydia.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, go ahead.
do we have any idea when the public meetings are going to be yet? Are they going to be August, September? Any?
Sorry, I don't think we're at the point yet where we
Okay.
can schedule, but we'll make sure that there's plenty of notice ahead of time.
Okay,
So that,
okay.
yeah, we
All
get
right,
that out.
that sounds good.
And Sam will help with that.
Yes, and now that we have a communications coordinator, we're going to make sure they know all about it. Great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I believe with the zoning ordinance, we had several open houses,
Okay.
at different locations, and that would be the intention.
Oh, good. So we'll be out in Bell Valley and,
I think that is the
Yeah.
hope, yes.
Yes.
great. Very cool. Thank you.
All right. Number 11 is Resolution 2023-R28. Matt?
Thank you. Mill Creek Township is an entitlement community with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD, which means that the township is eligible for Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG funds, due to our size, or due to the size of our population. HUD requires the township to prepare a plan every 5 years to identify priority needs that are eligible for this funding and identify what activities the township intends to undertake to address those needs. With the assistance of the Erie County Department of Planning and Community Development and a consultant, M&L Associates, Mill Creek has been working since February of this year on a new 5-year plan, which covers fiscal year 2023 through fiscal year 2027. Activities undertaken included 3 advertised public hearings and 7 virtual stakeholder sessions with the general public, agencies, and advocacy groups. The document also includes Mill Creek's annual action plan for fiscal year 2023. The draft document was placed on public display on May 19th, 2023, and has been available since then on the township's website, here at the municipal building, and at the offices of the Erie County Department of Planning and Community Development. I would recommend that the board pass Resolution 2023-R28, which formally adopts the consolidated plan for fiscal years 23 through 27, and the annual action plan for fiscal year 23. The resolution also authorizes the Department of Planning and Development to apply for the township's fiscal year 23 CDBG grant, totaling $238,033. It authorizes the chair of the Board of Supervisors to sign any assurances or certifications required by HUD in connection with the fiscal year 23 application, and it authorizes the chair to execute on behalf of the township formal grant contracts and other documents related to the fiscal year 23 CDBG program.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Is there a motion or any questions? And let's ask for any questions first. Anything, concerns on this? Okay. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2023-R28?
So moved?
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Resolution 2023-R29. Matt?
Thank you. PennDOT is undertaking a betterment project currently under construction along Zook Road from Village Common Drive north to West 26th Street. The work includes milling and paving, drainage upgrades, new traffic signals and turning lanes, and ADA improvements. As part of PennDOT's planning for the project, they met with the township, and we requested that they include some accessible sidewalks and curb ramps that tie into existing township facilities, but these were beyond what was originally proposed by PennDOT. These extra facilities are labeled by PennDOT as additional improvements, and the township agreed to a cost share amounting to 20% of the total cost estimate for the additional improvements. The estimates for these improvements is $95,990, so the township share for this work would be $19,198. I would recommend that the board adopt Resolution 2023 R29, which approves the township's contribution of $19,198 and designates Township Engineer Robert Rodemoyer as the point of contact and the official authorized to execute all documents and agreements between Mill Creek and PennDOT related to the additional improvements. Mill Creek's $19,198 contribution would come from the Zook Road Betterment Project sidewalks line item of the Planning and Development capital budget, which has a balance of $70,000, which would leave $50,802 available to transfer to reserves.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any questions or comments on this
Mr. Chairman,
resolution? Go ahead.
just want to indicate that our office has reviewed the agreement with PennDOT, and there are no issues on our end.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Is there a motion to approve
So moved.
Resolution 2023 R29? Dan, okay.
And second,
Mrs. Clear?
yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Number 13 on our agenda is the Lakewood Park Phase 1 Environmental Study. Lydia?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you recall, at the June 13th meeting, the board authorized entering into an agreement with the school district to purchase Lakewood Park. As part of the due diligence process, we typically conduct a Phase 1 environmental assessment. We received a quote from Environmental Remediation and Recovery to conduct that Phase 1 environmental site assessment and to provide a report for that assessment. The quote, the cost for that Phase 1 is $2,500, and it would be my recommendation to retain Environmental Remediation and Recovery to conduct that Phase 1.
Okay. Any questions or comments on the Phase 1 study?
None here.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to make a comment on this. I was actually at the grocery store the other day, and I had a resident ask me if they heard, maybe through the grapevine or maybe through one of our meetings that we did, that we are going to be purchasing Lakewood Park. And there was a rumor going around the neighborhoods that we were going to be developing it. And I told the resident that Mill Creek Township is not developing that property. First of all, we are not developers, and we are not looking to even sell it to be developed, and that we were keeping it as a park. And that was actually the reason that we decided to go through with the purchase of this, is to keep it a park for the residents of that neighborhood. We know what an integral part, all of us know what an integral part it is to that neighborhood. So I just wanted to make sure that we said it out loud. I don't have any plans for that.
Right. I think we covered it at our last meeting, but
Yeah. So it is to stay a
Right.
park for the residents.
yes,
Okay.
without a doubt.
Just want to make sure I said it again.
Very
Okay.
good. I'm glad you did. Okay, next is our number 14, donation and disposal of used furniture. Jesse?
Thank you. Mill Creek Township would like to properly discard of some personal property items that are no longer needed by any of the departments internally. It would be our preference that these items are upcycled and donated to a local nonprofit in need. However, some of the items are upholstered and or broken, and so they may not be accepted. All outgoing items will be removed from the township in their current as-is condition. The items include disassembled office furniture, 8 red upholstered chairs, 2 gray upholstered chairs, 8 more red upholstered chairs, They're different styles. A projector screen, a conference table, an organ, bench, and speaker, and a side end table.
I have to bring up the organ. Are we sure that we want to part with this? It's been in the stairwell for, how long, Cheryl?
I would love Cheryl to play it, maybe.
We-
No, I think it's broken. I think it's broken.
Do we
so.
know the history of said organ? Okay, who's hauling it out of here?
Am I allowed to make a motion to put it in your office? No? Is that a
You
no?
won't get a second.
Okay.
I don't know about
Dan,
that.
Dan, you won't second that. Well, who knows what they say, what one's trash is another's treasure.
That's right.
So you never know.
We will try.
Okay, so what do you need from us? The approval to donate or dispose
Yes.
of said property?
Yes.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Thank you.
Number 15. Lydia, you want to cover that one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
This is a request for authorization to file a property maintenance code enforcement action in the Court of Common Pleas with respect to property located at 3634 Argyle Avenue. The Code Enforcement Department has referred this to our office for purposes of filing a civil enforcement complaint. There have been a number of exterior property maintenance codes violations at the property, and since 2022, the department has attempted to resolve these issues with the property owner, and I believe they've gone to the magistrate for citations and fines over that. But to date, unfortunately, those violations have not been resolved, and we were requesting authorization to proceed with filing a complaint, preparing and filing a complaint to enforce the property maintenance code with respect to 3634 Argyle.
Okay. Is there a motion on this to authorize solicitor to file the appropriate action in the Court of Common Pleas?
Yes, so moved.
Thank you, Dan.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Number 16, we have a sidewalk deferral request. Matt?
Thank you. Yes, this is a sidewalk deferral request. The developer for a single-family dwelling, Steve Lewis, is proposing to defer the construction of sidewalks at 5110 Emmeline Drive. At this time, the adjacent lots do not have sidewalks, nor are there plans to install sidewalks in the area. One note, though, I guess I'll leave this to the end. It's the recommendation of the Zoning and Development Officer to approve the request with the condition that a grading plan be submitted that take into account the impervious surface and show the location of the deferred sidewalks. As I mentioned, they have provided an agreement that agrees to build the sidewalks if that time comes. There is a map of the area showing that there are no sidewalks in the area, but they have not yet provided a grading plan showing how those sidewalks would be accommodated. So my recommendation would be to approve this deferral with the condition that they submit a grading plan that shows the sidewalks and how they would be accounted for with the stormwater when they are constructed.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Is there a motion on this with the conditions as stated with the grading plan?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Financial security reduction request. Matt?
Thank you. The developer for Whispering Woods subdivision Phase 7C, which is Renaud Peck Real Estate LLC, is requesting a reduction in their financial security. The township did review their request and revise the estimates as additional public sidewalk has been installed since the last time the project was evaluated. You'll notice that you have a form in front of you, an engineer certificate signed by the township engineer Robert Rodemoyer, recommending the reduction in Erie Bank letter of credit number 1640. The current amount of security is $117,827.38. The engineer is recommending a reduction to a new amount of $78,089. That is a reduction of $39,738.38 to reflect work that has been complete. So at this time, I would recommend reduction of Erie Bank Letter of Credit 1640 to the new amount of $78,089.
Thank you, Matt. Do I hear a motion on this request?
So moved?
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next up, Treasurer Communications. Mark is off today. We have nothing under Treasurer. We have a training request from the Sewer Department. Rob?
I am seeking approval to have Sewer Department employee Eric Pham complete an online commercial plumbing inspector course. This course includes 40 hours of online training, and he will be issued his inspector license upon completion. The cost is $449, and funds will be taken from the Sewer Department training expense budget. It is my recommendation to have Eric Pham take this training.
Thank you, Rob. Is there a motion on this training request?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Executive sessions were held on June 15th to discuss real estate related to utility easement, parks and rec facilities, litigation related to right to knows, orphans court petition and code enforcement. And on June 21st, real estate relating to utility easements, parks and rec facilities, litigation related to right to knows, zoning hearing board appeals, state court lawsuit, and code enforcement matters. Lydia, anything further?
Nothing further from me, sir.
Okay. Citizens to be heard. Do we have any citizens that would like to be heard? Sir? You could come up to the podium, please, and state your name and address, and if there's a sign-in sheet, I believe there is, just sign in real quick. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Glenn Yabanas, and I've been a resident in Mill Creek since 1977 when I came here from the Philippines. I went to McDowell. I served with Westlake Fire Department in Lakeshore. I'm here to ask permission from you guys for some kind of a permit from, based on what I heard on the gateway planning of the peninsula area where the township had purchased all the properties. Presently, I'm an owner of a bait shop out in Springfield. I do live here at 4506 Darcy Drive. Excuse my language, or excuse my voice here. I'm asking permission from the supervisors if the bait shop, we are opening a mobile trailer that we want to drive around in the Erie County, specifically in Mill Creek, since I live in this county and in this township, to be able to use the vacant parking lot on Peninsula, which is the old Tracy School parking lot.
12th and Peninsula?
Yes, sir.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, and, you know, in all the other vacant area, which would be the sandbar area there that's gonna be vacant, I would like to use that as adjacent to pull my trailer in for a couple hours just to bring in revenue to the township and give all the anglers and the tourists to get better service of getting some baits and stuff to enjoy the world of fishing. You know, Mill Creek and Erie is a well-known industry, fishing industry, and would like to keep it that way. I'm in here nowhere nearby competing with all the other bait shops. We're trying to work together to keep the industry going, to keep our revenue and bring tourists in Erie. I've had a lot of comments from people from Pittsburgh, down south, Altoona, Hershey, that they love coming up here every year for steelhead season and everything. They prefer to be on the west side of town. They feel much safer, and there's always a place to stay. Hotels are here. And I told my partner that, you know, I'm gonna go see the township supervisors about getting permission to do that. Right now, I'm in the works also of getting a permit from the Fish and Boat Commission out in Harrisburg about being able to get a permit to enter Presque Isle State Park or any state land or fish and boat property to be there to better service all the boaters and the anglers. But I would like to start with the township here in Mill Creek to bring this trailer in, which is a mobile unit, and everything we sell there is going to be fair price and everything. We're not marking anything up. We're not peddlers or what you call that. This is just to better serve the public. We do have plans on expanding this business, bringing it back here in town in Mill Creek, especially in the 832 Peninsula area, because we used to have bait shops down there and they're all gone. I've been doing it all my life, fishing, and I want to keep that tradition going in Mill Creek so that when tourists come in and they want to do a kind of sports or that kind of hobby, there's a place to go to and get those supplies. So I'm here asking you guys permission of, you know, letting my trailer be allowed to sell stuff for a few hours there. It's not a permanent fixture, it's a mobile unit, because we're gonna be somewhere else in another 2-3 hours to better serve all the anglers to wherever they're gonna be at, so.
Okay.
I just want to apologize for stumbling. I wasn't really prepared for this. I've been
You're
working
fine.
since 5.
No.
I had a meeting
No.
today somewhere else too for a union.
You were good.
You're doing great.
But I live right here, like I said. I used to live right on 3859 West 12th. I'm familiar with the Lakewood Park area. I grew up in there playing basketball and sports and all that, and I was kind of glad that that old Lakewood elementary school was torn down. Kind of worried me that people would be going in there, homeless people and stuff, being in the fire department. I wasn't going to let that kind of stuff happen there. I did do a lot of neighborhood watch when I was there, when I lived in that area. I'm familiar with the Lakewood Association. The house I live in is still up there, which is good, but that's all I'm here for, is to ask for that. I stayed here because this is important for me and for my partners who reside over in Springfield. If you don't mind, I'd like to show you the trailer, a picture of our trailer. It says Fisherman's Haven Bait and Tackle Mobile Unit. It has the number. It says that we do sell certified minnows and live bait, because, you know, we're aware of the AIS invasive species here. We're trying to stop that too, and we're not here to promote that stuff. And I want everybody else to be aware of that, so when they come to us, they'll usually ask us, and, you know, we'll tell them that this stuff is certified. When we give you the receipt, we'll sign our name on it saying those bait are certified, so that there is no AIS in that bait that we're selling you.
Okay. Are you currently at any other locations? In other words, have you set this up, not in Mill Creek, but any other
At this
township?
point, sir, we started this with my partner, and he chose to have it on his residency over there. I went down there and had a meeting with the Springfield Township Supervisor. They approved the store, so we built the building over there. We started real small. It was like a 24 by 24 garage, which is now 24 by 60. It's an actual giant, you know, pretty good sized building to have a lot of selections for the anglers and all that, for all types of fishing and all season, all year round. I did tell him that, you know, we get this business expanded, I plan on bringing it back to Mill Creek. I'm not gonna drive 20 miles every day like I'm doing now. I said, I'll suffer for the next 3 years. That's my projection. But if I can get this business going here and participate in, you know, with the gateway entrance to the peninsula by putting a bait shop there, I think that would be the best thing for me. I think it's something I can fall back into when I retire from my regular job, which is in the industrial maintenance field. I've been doing that for about 37 years. So having a bait shop here back in Mill Creek, I think would be the best thing to bring back. I was associated with Al Nicopoulos, who happened to own BAC back then. he even said that's a great idea that you want to bring that back to Mill Creek. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do in Mill Creek Township, and they, stores like these dissipate and disappear. That gives, you know, anglers to go elsewhere other than Mill Creek, and to come here and, you know, experience what Mill Creek's all about. So, you know, I
Okay.
just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come up here and talk. It's my first time here. New faces. I mean, I was familiar with the other supervisors. But like I said, I did serve a lot for this community, for this township, and I don't plan on stopping on doing that. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't know, Matt, if, I didn't know if you wanted to maybe speak to him afterwards, you know, regarding some of the, you know, zoning requirements, if this is, you know, feasible in the areas he's talking about. Obviously, 12th and Peninsula is privately owned. We don't control that.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
That. That's why I like to do things legitimately and by law. I'm not gonna show up in somebody's property and just start setting up.
Good idea.
That's not gonna happen. I'm willing to communicate with whoever owns the property. I've been communicating with the town, or the Fish and Boat Commission about this. They told me as long as you get the permit from Harrisburg, from our main office, and they okay it, you can go to Walnut Creek access, Elk Creek access, take your trailer there, do your thing for a couple hours or whatever it is you guys got to do. But as for now, if you don't have that permit, we can't have you in that area at all.
Okay.
So for now, to bypass that until the process is done in Harrisburg, I'm here to ask from the township if I could, you know, use some of the vacant spot legally without getting in trouble.
Okay.
Well, yeah, if you would have a few minutes after the meeting, I'd be happy to sit down with you, get some
Sure.
information, share mine, and then we can discuss and hopefully
Sure.
get you moving.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other citizens to be heard? Sir, in the second row? You have 30 seconds.
I've been in enough meetings, I know there's 5 minutes.
Oh, can't fool you.
Some quick questions in public, put on, I read this old-fashioned thing called the Newspaper Sunday, talking about the EMS and the services. Is anyone gonna be on point on that? And, not to beat a dead horse, but, you know, I have the issues with the 911 and the duplications or triplications of taxes and stuff, and I don't wanna see the township compete with the county. And the way it read is they're trying to do like an overlay and help support, but, you know, a lot of good intentions and sometimes bad results with the 911 thing. I don't wanna see that happen with the emergency services.
To answer your question, Dennis, I'm part of the steering committee for that, so,
Oh.
yeah, we're real early in the process, so we haven't even met yet,
Oh,
so,
okay.
yes, I'll be
Yeah,
on
I did
point.
see there was like one line of you saying you don't know a whole lot, cause,
Right,
and I just wanted to make sure in an early enough stage where there's not enough,
right,
so you are the point man.
I am,
Good luck.
thanks.
Another, if you don't mind, quick, the last meeting, you had the fireworks ordinance for noise and stuff, and had to comply with the state, couldn't exceed, but along those same lines, whatever happened with some of the issues like Black Monk was having, the residents around there, and kind of, now that it's summer again, and I've noticed my neighborhood, lots of other people, loud, mute, you know, it's not, is that been resolved, or is being resolved? Are those neighbors still all?
Specifically Black Monk?
Yeah, because I just wondered if.
Well, depends who you ask. We have received the same concern this year that we received last year. And at least my response was the same as last year, basically referred to our police department. It's on an needed basis, what's going on down there with the noise. So, it's in our ordinance, certain decibel levels at certain hours, and the police enforce that with their meters. So that's what residents are to do. If they feel there is a violation, they call the police. They will respond with their meter, take it from the appropriate location, and determine if that reading is a violation depending on the district that it's in, residential, commercial, et cetera. So that's what I advise. That I've received one complaint this spring/summer regarding black monk. And I don't know the outcome if there was any police responses. I didn't follow up with the police department, but I made them aware of the complaint. Kim, I don't know if you've had any similar as far as with the police.
I did have the same complaint that you received too, and I concurred with Mr. Bach about the, what should be done and contact with the police. And I have not received any information that the police have gone out there or that there has been any violation of the noise ordinance.
I was just curious. And sometimes things are in the news and then they're
Yeah.
never heard or spoke of again.
Yeah.
And one of the other meetings that you had, the one coworker that passed, and you had the plaque ceremony and stuff for, which was, and there was a gentleman been here several times wanting to name some pavilion after his father, and he's been, has have you put up a plaque or done anything for him, or is he?
I met with him, with Ashley Marsteller, our Director of Parks. I met with Mr. Martin out at the Bell Valley pool park area, and we discussed some options with him, and I know he was going to discuss with his family members kind of what they were thinking, and we're still awaiting to hear from him.
Oh, because I was wondering if maybe if there was like a funding, if someone, would to come forward to help support paying for a plaque or something, would that help? Or is that, because it seemed kind of in limbo.
It is in limbo, and I think kind of the consensus with Ashley was, if the family decided to, explore like a bigger memorial, such as a gazebo or, something along those lines, that would be a little more of an undertaking, which would require some financial contributions. But something like a plaque, or even maybe like a small bench, or something like that, that is very immediately doable.
Oh, okay. I just wondered if it was, like I said, some of these meetings, things are mentioned and never ever heard of again. And I just was curious of where they were. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Dennis. Anyone else? Adjournment time?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. We are adjourned at 6:03 p.m.